Jordan. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the franchise Digimon, Digital
Oh,
Monsters.
no, not at all. It's not like I've talked about it on this show before.
Jordan, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there was a series called Digimon Adventure
Oh, no, really? You don't say. It's not like I've talked about it on this show before.
and Digimon Adventure 02. Not because it's
And perhaps when we talked about anime in the past, link it here.
not named 02, not after because it's the second one because it takes place in 2002. That's why it's called 02. Jordan, I'm not sure if you know that they made a series of 7 movies, which was initially going to be a show, but they split them into 7 movies, and it's really obvious that they split them into a show called Digimon Try. Do,
I have heard of these.
well, Jordan, they eventually made a sequel to that. It's called Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna.
Too bad things can't stay the same forever. Friends sometimes grow apart.
Do you know why Digimon partners pick the children they work with? The possibilities are endless. The power of your Digimon steadily turns. Bond between Digimon and partner is broken forever.
Does this mean we all have to say goodbye to our Digimon?
I'm almost entirely sure I mispronounced that. Play the trailer.
Well, okay.
And this, Jordan, honestly, is way better than Digimon Try. And when I was watching it, the big thing, you could watch this. The only time that I unfortunately have to spoil it. Sorry, Jordan. The short version is you should go watch it. It's quite good.
La
But
la la la
I
la
have
la
to
la
spoil
la
it.
la 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 la.
Um,
Just gonna mute you. No.
um, but there's only one moment in the end where you see, shit, what's her name? I forget the character's name. Mekumon?
Mikuman?
Yeah, her person.
Oh
She's,
yeah.
you see her very briefly at the end. I think she shows up a couple times. The problem with these movies is they all have the same art style, but the art style is different from the show, and the characters' voices don't sound like half of them are the original voice. I watched the dub, to be fair, and half of the voices are from the original, like they're the original voices, and half of them aren't, just like Try. So you kind of lose the characters a little bit because you're like, oh, I think that's TK, but it doesn't quite, or I think that's Cody, but he's older and it doesn't look like Cody, and it doesn't sound like Cody either because it's a different
Oh
voice
yeah.
actor. So the characters get kind of jumbled for me because of that. But you could. The thing about Digimon Try is all of those movies are wildly unbalanced because they don't work as individual movies because they're all part of a larger narrative. So
That tracks.
it was just apparent that Digimon Try was originally going to be a show, and then they decided to make them into the 7 movies. Whereas this functions on its own as a movie. It's a perfectly functional movie. All of the characters have decent character arcs. The story is self-contained and wrapped up, and it's a great swan song to the original Digimon Adventure show. The problem is just like Digimon Try, this movie is a weird bummer. Like, I don't understand why these Digimon movies are such a weird bummer. They have this weird tone problem across them.
That's a good question. I guess because they realize that the people that watch them are all sad adults, and sad adults need
Yeah,
to
but
stay sad.
that's not why I'm watching these movies. But like the plot of this movie basically is there's an evil Digimon, like there always is, and
That's what. Yeah.
it's stealing the consciousness of DigiDestined across the world, and as they are fighting, and there's a fun reference where they go.
What's funny is in the Japanese version, it's probably not their consciousness; it's probably just their life.
Probably. Well, no, it actually might be their consciousness because this feels fairly faithful to the original. But there's a really fun moment early on where they're initially fighting it, where they go into the internet and it's just like it is in the Digimon movie.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's really fun. It's like the highways zooming by or whatever. Uh, and it in the midst of that fight, a ring of light has appeared on Tai and Matt's Digivice, and they are told by a girl whose name I don't remember, that once that light disappears, Agumon and Gabumon will disappear forever, and you will no longer need to see them. And having a Digimon partner basically is a lot of energy. The potential of it releases a lot of energy, and when that energy runs out, you lose your Digimon partner, and that's a whole part of it. Happens when you grow up. When you get older, your Digimon leaves you. And so the running clock of this movie is Matt and Tai are trying to decide whether or not they should fight, because if they fight, then Agumon and Gabumon will disappear. And it is very sad. The scene, you know where it's going. They disappear. And you think, oh, they're going to disappear and then they're going to reappear again. Nope. They're gone. There's a particularly sad moment at the end where, I'm jumping ahead. So the entire time, Matt is using like these behind the scenes connections to trace this guy who they think is the one who's controlling the evil Digimon. And it turns out, spoiler alert, big spoiler, that the guy that Matt is following is actually the FBI, and the killer is the girl who told Matt and Tai that the Digimon were going to leave. And she has created an artificial Digimon that has the ability to steal DigiDestined's consciousness, basically. And she's taken them into she calls it like the Nega or Netherworld or whatever, where you can be children forever and stay with your Digimon forever and ever and ever.
Man, that sounds a lot like the guy in Digimon Adventure 2 who, wanted to use the flowers that were growing out of people so he could be young and go and get his Digimon. What's the character? The one
kind of. It's kind of similar, yeah. But she's more kind of. But I think she actually is a DigiDestined, whereas he never actually became a DigiDestined. She was a DigiDestined. That was the whole deal.
Okay, so it's like the Digimon Tri where there's the lady who was.
It borrows a lot of stuff. It's also very similar. A lot of her character moments are very similar to Jerry from Tamers. And you're like, okay, so this movie is real bummer, real sad. The tone of it the entire time is sad. The Digimon are still childlike. So they kind of seem to understand what's going on, but they kind of do. And you're like, oh, okay, clearly this is fake, right? This is a real thing. This is not real. This is a fake out that's not gonna happen in the end. It's not really gonna be that sad. But then Genai shows up out of nowhere, and Tai is like, oh, Genai, it's you. He's like, yeah, it's me. And like, so that bit about the Digimon disappearing, that's fake, right? That's not actually real. She's a bad guy. She's tricking us. And like, oh no, it's a thing. It's a thing that's gonna happen. Like, wait, but why didn't you say anything? Oh, I mean, how do you kind of tell someone when they're a kid that the thing they absolutely love and adore is gonna die eventually, and they're gonna have to emotionally deal with that? So I just chose not to.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't see Genai's logic.
I guess it just seems like kind of a cruel thing to just now be mentioning, but
I mean, there's a certain point, like when they were like, I get not wanting to do it when they first meet the Digimon when they're like 10 or like 9, but like in Adventure 2 when Tai and them are like 14, 15, they could like handle the concept of death at that point. You could slowly introduce them to the idea.
What's frustrating, yeah, exactly. What's frustrating about it,
but also like, aren't Digimon just data? Why are they suddenly dying?
Well, yeah. So part of the thing is they're like, oh, you've created a fake Digimon, but it's like, Digimon are just data. So like, what is the difference between this Digimon and an actual Digimon? Because this Digimon is because the whole thing is her Digimon disappeared when she was a kid, so she's trying to get it back or whatever. And so this Digimon is based, this Digimon that can steal the consciousness is like, it seems to be a reconstruction of her Digimon, like that disappeared.
But my question was more for like the Agumon and Gabumon. Why are they suddenly disappearing? Like, Digimon is just data, right? Isn't the point that when a Digimon dies, it comes back as a Digi-Egg?
No,
why won't
this new movie adds this wrinkle that now when you as the kids hit a certain age, I might have missed if they said exactly what it is, but they just disappear. They turn into glowing energy and they just disappear. And then your Digivice turns to stone.
Okay.
And so there's the final confrontation.
Just seems like an unnecessary it's just to
be sad for the sake of it.
Yeah, they just want to make it so that they can't come back again.
Right, but pin in that question, because like, okay, so big twist. This girl's not evil so much as she's traumatized and damaged, and she wants to kidnap all the DigiDestined and keep them safe in her little digital world. And so she
misguided.
The Jedi, as he's leaving, Tai coldly says like, oh yeah, Tai's like, oh, we're gonna have to say goodbye to our Digimon, and he's like, oh yeah, unless you manage to like summon one more big bit of potential, basically. And they go to gather all the DigiDestined to go do a final battle with the girl, and Sora refuses to. She's like, I'm not gonna do a big fight, and they all get sucked in and taken by this thing. And so yeah, they go to this digital world and they're all kids again, like all of them. And that's when you see the girl from the Try movies, and she's a kid again, and you see all the different characters, and they've all got their Digimon with them, and they all like start attacking Tai and Matt, who are trying to like save them. They're like, you can't, we have to grow up eventually. And Tai has this huge monologue about having to grow up, except none of the other characters in the movie have had that problem of not wanting to grow up, not wanting to like let go of anything. That's not been a character arc for any of them. So it's just weird that like the bit is him trying to convince them to come back to the light. Like, that's weird. That's not, it's not really been a character arc moment up until that point.
As a casual observer looking in, it sort of seems like those characters don't have a we don't want to grow up problem. It's a we don't want our cherished friend that we've known for 15 plus years to die thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And like, that's not to say Tai or Agumon and Gabumon have really new evolution, new Digivolution. That's fucking sick.
It's a new Digivolution. I don't believe my eyes.
Neither do I.
That is prodigious.
It looks sick. It's awesome. They both look badass. The fight sequences, like there's fights between Digimon that look sick. They bring back
I mean, nothing tops War Greymon.
Well, they bring back the original Digivolution sequence from the original show. Remember how they changed it for Digimon Try? Yeah. So it looks great. It's great. The music is great. There's a new version of the original Japanese theme song, which is great. And so you're like, okay.
You're making me want to watch it.
It's a weird bummer. I think it's better than Digimon Try, but like it's way better than Digimon Try. It's way more self-contained. It works as a movie. Like, it's a solid movie. Except it's really fucking confusing, because you're like, oh, okay, so they're retconning the ending of Digimon Adventure 2. All right, I get that. That's fine. I understand why you would do that. That epilogue is terrible. Everyone hates the epilogue. The creators hate the epilogue. Nobody likes the epilogue. I understand it. They want to retcon it and give a more like complete story about how, yeah, you have to eventually learn to grow out of your childhood things or let go of your child. That's a very Japanese lesson to learn. But then the ending of this movie sets up the epilogue. But I don't know if it's like...
But it can't, because Agumon's dead.
Agumon's dead. Yeah. And there's a sequel to this. And so not all of the Digimon left. Just Agumon. There's a really sad scene of Agumon, and it's like an old Yeller style scene where Agumon and Gabumon, Tai and Matt are hanging out with them separately, and like they have this conversation, this dialogue, and you could tell the ending's coming.
case you didn't know, you're the best partner ever, Matt. Tomorrow.
That's a good question. I guess no one knows what tomorrow may bring. Wow. Anything can happen. Tomorrow,
We can...
And they turn away and they're like, what are you going to do tomorrow? And then they go to talk to him and they're just gone. And you're like, oh, that's really sad. But the rest, like the other DigiDestined, the 02 cast, they still have their Digimon. So there's a sequel to this. There's a second one that I want to watch, which heavily involves the 02 cast. It's their movie. That's supposed to be kind of making up for...
How they weren't in Try.
Yeah, how they weren't in Try. Sorry, my throat is just dry all of a sudden. They weren't in Try. And so I'm wondering if that explains. So, yeah, so sorry. This ends setting up the epilogue. So you see Matt, he's looking at a rocket ship. You see Davis, he's in a cooking class with Vemon. You see Ty, he has written his graduation, his thesis on human Digimon collaboration, which is what gets him into the UN in the epilogue where he joins the UN with Agumon. And
maybe the second one will have a nice happy resolution, which brings all the Digimon back.
Them back, yeah. And you see early in the movie, Matt mentions that TK is writing a book, and then at the end of the movie, you see him in the coffee shop writing a book. Yeah, there's a particularly sad moment in the final battle where you see all of the Digimon fighting or whatever, and it cuts to Sora, and she's just looking on, and she's holding her Digivice to her chest, and it's turned to stone. Biomon's already gone.
That's sad.
Right? So it is a weird bummer. Like, you know me, I'm not against a weird bummer. It's weird, like, this show used to be really easygoing and family-friendly for the most part, but all right.
Adventure.
I'm not against it. It's just the ending is confusing. Like, if you're going to retcon the epilogue, but it just kind of seems like you want to have it both ways. So, yeah, I'd like to see the second one to see if it does wrap it up or, like, hint at them coming back. Because the only hint that they're going to come back is Agumon, Tai, I think. One of them has a line where he's like, I will find you. Wherever you are, I will find you. So that seems to be the hint. And the other thing that makes this sad is the dub brings back original Agumon, which Digimon Tri didn't have. It brings back original Agumon and original Tai. So when Tai has this really serious monologue and Agumon just disappears, it's extra sad for me. Because it's coming right from my childhood. Yeah, it's like, right in my heart. Ugh. But yeah. I think it's better than Try. I thought Try was all right in the beginning, and then I just remember the last two movies were crap. This is definitely better than that. It wraps up this in kind of a way that, again, works until the end. But yeah, that's Digimon Final Evolution. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last word.
Kizuna, yeah?
Hey everybody, it's N-Card Justin here. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen this weird, depressing Digimon movie? What did you think? Let me know. What are your thoughts? But in the meantime, if you want to see the full version, the full podcast that this video is from, click the box on the left. Or if you want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out every single day, including a brand new podcast every single Sunday. Or you can just leave us a like. That helps us out too. We will see you all tomorrow.